Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom. And today I'm going to do a pre-recorded video. We're going to talk about Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 34, Ditched and Dismissed. So before I begin, please, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. Join our family and like the video, make your comments. And if you're interested, we will also have the link in the description box below. All right, so let's get started. Now, this episode of Love After Lockup, I'm trying to decide, was it the Monique show or was it the Mike and Justine show? I think it was a little bit of both, but let's just get started with Nathan and Skylar. So today is the day that Skylar comes home from the halfway house or the prison she's been in for a year and a half for selling substances. And Skylar's mom and her brother and Nathan are excited to see her. She finally pulls up and the mom was like, you know what? I'm going to get the first hug. Like, you're not even going to beat me to the car. So I thought that was nice. But at the same time, the mom said that, you know what? Even though she's happy that Skylar's getting out and hopefully she'll get her life together, she's nervous. She's nervous because she's not sure how the relationship really is with Nathan. Like, is Nathan, gonna drag her back to where she was before? Because she said that the reason why Skylar went back to prison is because of Nathan. So apparently Skylar missed her curfew at the halfway house and that violated her and she went back. So she blames Nathan. Now, Nathan doesn't know that about Skylar's mom. So anyways, like I said, Skylar's happy to see everyone, and Nathan is on cloud nine, of course. And when they're hugging, Nathan and Skylar, I noticed that Skylar has a tattoo of Nathan on her arm, and Nathan has a tattoo of Skylar on his arm. And the difference is, I noticed Nathan's looked way more professional versus Skylar, who may have got hers in different circumstances. But anyways, they both have their names on their arms. So I guess that's what matters, right? So now, after the meetup and everything, Skylar's mom gives her clothes and stuff like that. Skylar and Nathan go to a coffee shop. And at the coffee shop, Nathan, he's acting a little bit out of his element, not because they're in a coffee shop, but just he's like staring down Skylar and just like in the zone. What I'm getting from that is I think Nathan is feeling overwhelmed. He says he's feeling pressure. He's stressing. You could definitely see that. I was going to say like maybe a little bit of anxiety, but I guess maybe that's all for Nathan in the same bubble because I don't know, he's just running out of things to say and, anything positive. But you know what? Let me jump back. I went just a little bit too far. After the meetup with her mom and her brother, while they're driving to the coffee shop, Nathan, like I said, he's in the zone. And Skylar's like, what's the matter? And he's telling her he's stressed. And she's like, why are you stressed? And Nathan says, well, I hope you're not running like a jail game on me. And I was thinking, wow, like that's the first thing he said to Skylar. I'm thinking, why would he say that to Skylar already? Because when we met Nathan on the first episode, Nathan was saying, and not just the first episode, he was saying before Skylar got there, that he was so in love with Skylar, he's ready to marry her, help her get on the straight and narrow. And now he's saying like, he's thinking she could be running a jail game on him. But Skylar says, you know what? If it was like that, I wouldn't be in this truck right now. So back to the coffee shop. So when Skylar is ordering her coffee, she's like, wow, everything looks so good. And she goes, I don't know what to choose. So when she chooses one, she tells the lady behind the counter, she says, oh, well, I haven't had real coffee in a long time because I've been in prison. And then the lady behind the counter is like, oh, really? what kind of coffee is it like in prison? I'm thinking, do you really want to know what kind of coffee is in prison? But Skylar says, it's just like watered down coffee grounds. I just thought that was real, not a nerd, but I was like, like that's something like you really wanted to know. But anyways, when they get the coffee, they sit down. Skylar's like, oh, so which outfit should I wear? She's going to go change in the bathroom. Nathan spills just a little bit of coffee on him. And he's just looking like, oh my gosh, I need to change. And I didn't see what the big deal was because the drip was down at the bottom of his shirt. But he goes outside to change. I mean, his face is red. And Skylar's like, I don't know what's wrong with him. And I'm thinking, first of all, he asked you in the car, were you running game? And then he's not saying anything to you. So his vibe is off. So I would think that you would think, Skylar, that it would be a little bit of like, what am I getting myself into? So Nathan goes back to the truck and he's saying to producers, like, I can't believe it's going down like this. A little bit on my shirt right now, that doesn't make the best impression. Nobody's thinking about that. And Skylar definitely wasn't thinking about that. And you know what? Also too at the meetup, or just a side note with producers with Nathan, he was saying how he knows that Skylar and him come from different backgrounds. She comes from a more affluent background. And even Skylar mentioned too, in her confessionals that she comes from living in multi-million-dollar homes. She grew up middle class. No one ever told her no. So she's used to getting things her way and used to being in the finer things. But then too, Nathan says something that's even more interesting in his confessional. He said that, what are the odds that their paths crossed and they met the way that they did? And I'm thinking, well, you know what, Nathan? It doesn't matter if you come from a silver spoon in your mouth or not. If you get into certain situations that take you down the path, there's no telling who you'll meet, from someone that's a doctor or a lawyer, a rocket scientist, whoever. If that's what they're into and they fell off the wagon, then it just doesn't matter. So after the coffee shop and everything, now Nathan has taken Skylar back to where they're going to live, which is his grandmother's house. And at first, Skylar's like, oh, it's nice. She's like, oh, it's cute. When was this house built? And he said, before you and I were alive. So she's looking around the downstairs. She's okay for now. But when she goes upstairs, oh, yeah, Skylar's tune changes. She's like, I can't do this. Like, there's dirty clothes on the floor. The pictures are creepy. I'm like, first of all, those pictures are of whatever it was. Like, maybe, I think Nathan said the house was built like 100 years ago. I mean, it's his grandparents, probably his great grandparents and just family members on the wall. But I don't know. I think maybe she's low-key saying it was like dirty and like she wanted to change things. So then Skylar says, so, does your grandma really need all this stuff, or can we like get rid of some stuff? And I was like, you know what? I mean, I understand like that might not be your vibe, but this is still Skylar's family's house. He knows what it looks like, but Skylar takes it in stride. So I don't know. But one thing that Skylar says, that Nathan says in confessional, he says, one thing they have in common is that they're sexually compatible. And I guess that's what is all that he's thinking about right now. But I don't know. I just think that maybe Skylar's, the way she grew up and maybe the way Nathan didn't grow up, and other things that's on Nathan's mind that we'll probably see along the way, is definitely going to come out. Next up, let's jump to Gabby and Chris. Gabby says she's on the way to the hotel because Chris is getting out tomorrow. He's been in the halfway house for 2 months, and she says she hasn't seen him since she dropped him off. Now, Gabby also says that Chris has been doing some things behind her back because she has access to his phone and everything else, his social media. He's been talking to all these other women, and she's going to confront him as to why. So when Gabby gets to the hotel, she's FaceTiming Chris, and she's like, oh, hey, so what you been doing lately? Chris is like, girl, I haven't been doing nothing. I just been chilling. She goes, no, you haven't. See, Gabby is always like out there on Front Street with everything. And so she says, no, you've been talking to somebody. She goes, there's numbers in your phone that I don't know. You see, right there, that's where Chris should have been like, how do you know there's numbers in the phone? So, but I guess a little bit he figured it out, because in confessional, he said that, even though he has been talking to other women on social media, IG, Facebook, or wherever else, they're just friends. He hasn't had any sexual contact with nobody. So he don't understand what the problem is with Gabby. Yeah, you do. Gabby wants to control everything. And then Chris says again how he got the settlement while he was in prison, and that he gave Gabby $60,000, and she's gotten Botox, she's gotten cosmetic procedures, she's bought this, she's bought that, and there's not a dime left. Like, there's nothing left to give. And I'm thinking again, and I think I said this in another review, like, that's your fault. You could have given your mom and your family a little bit and then had them put some up for you in trust, or your lawyer, whoever got you the settlement, and some in trust, so you can have something when you get out. Excuse me. And so I guess he didn't even think about that. So Gabby says that, you know what, I'm not coming to get you tomorrow, so I don't know what to tell you. And then she hangs up. Now it's the next day, or whenever it is. Yeah, it's the next day. And we see Chris's mom, and I'm going to guess that was Chris's brother, because I didn't see a name come up on the screen, but there's a family resemblance there. So I'm just going to say his brother, are waiting outside the halfway house for Chris. And of course, they're excited for him to get out, because, they haven't seen him in a while. And so when he comes over to give hugs, they're like, oh, so where's our ride? Where's Gabby? Chris is like, man, Gabby was mad with me. So, she may not be here to pick me up. She's upset. She caught me talking to these women. And so Chris's mom was like, what? Already? Well, that's why you shouldn't be with her anyways. Gabby's a hothead and all this different stuff. And so then Chris says, do you have the phone that y'all gave, that I asked for? And so the mom pulls a phone out the pocket, or out her purse, excuse me. And so Chris calls Gabby to see if she really will come, like she's just like faking him out or something. He calling her, she not coming. So what do? They have to get on the train. Chris takes his mom and his brother, and they all get on a train they go get dropped back off in New York. And I'm like, wow, like she really didn't come. Like Gabby is really on one. I mean, like, first of all, where is the BMW that you bought with the money? At least that's what she told us. That's what she did with the money, the car she was driving. And so while on the train, Chris's mom and his brother were saying, like, you know what, you really don't need to be with her. She spent all your money. You don't have nothing. But you know what? She's a hothead. You're a hothead. We saw her on social media trying to get in fights with people. And Chris was like, well, that's why I like her, because she's not going to take nothing from nobody. She's all about it. And I'm like, that's the only reason why you like Gabby? But Chris said that he also wants to show Gabby appreciation for being with him for all the time, for the whole time that he was in prison. So I guess maybe he feels like he said, he owes her something for sticking by him. But did she stick by him the whole time, or they met like halfway in between his sentence? I'm not really sure. I would have to go back and look. Now, when his mom and everybody, him and his brother, make it to New York, why did somebody call? It was some lady named Brittany on the phone. And Chris's mom was like, oh, I like her. I'm like, oh, so y'all know about Brittany too, huh? And then Chris says to producers, because they were like, well, who's that? He was like, oh, that's just somebody I know from back in the day, a childhood friend. We never did anything together. She was just a friend. So that's the thing that Chris is trying to put out there, that he's been locked up. He's been at the halfway house, so no one has ever touched him physically. So he wasn't cheap. So then the mom and the brother were like, so are you sure you're going back to New Jersey? Chris is like, yeah, that's my wife. I'm going to fight for the marriage. They're like, well, you got one more chance because we about to go. And he's like, no, y'all go. So Chris gets back on the train, back to New Jersey. Once he gets there, he calls Gabby again. The phone goes to voicemail. So Chris sits on the seat. He's talking about, listen, I don't know why she's mad. He goes over the part like he don't know why she's mad again. You do, because she caught you talking to these women. And so About 30 minutes goes by, calls again, nothing. Then the phone rings. It's Gabby. She goes, you know what? I was on my way there. I stopped at 2 blocks. I'm not coming. And then she hangs up the phone. And Chris is saying, you know what? I've been played. Gabby is doing all these head games. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I think he feels like he's going to go to where Gabby's at because he gets on like a bus or something else to go to the hotel, like to wherever she is. And he says that when he gets there, he can make things right. He'll smooth things over. But first he'll be intimate with her. And then after that, they could talk about their problems. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work this time. But you never know because that's the kind of relationship that they have. All right, so let's move to Justine and Mike. So Mike and his family and Justine and everybody are at the park and for a family day. And so from last week, we see somebody come and it was Mocha. So he comes to the event and everyone is welcoming. Justine was like, very sarcastic. She's like, oh, nice to meet you at a family event, And Mocha's like, yeah, cool, whatever. And so in confessional, Mocha was like, well, not confessional to producers, same thing. He says, you know what? I don't know what she's tripping about because they're more my family than she is, and I belong here. And Justine says in her confessional, like, she don't understand why Mike's family is jumping up and down to have anybody else outside the family here at this event since Mike just got out. Well, Mocha doesn't stay too long. He tells Mike that, we can meet up for tracks and stuff like that. And that was it, right? For the time being. And so then Mike talks to his dad and Justine talks to Mike's mom. So when Mike is talking to his dad, he's like, so what happened? How come you didn't see me while I was up there? I was there for 6 years. You didn't come. He goes, you're the strongest man I know. I looked up to you and I just wanted to feel the support from you. Mike's dad broke down in tears, was like, you know what? I wanted to come, but it took me 6 months to heal from you being up there. And I just couldn't do it. Like, I just couldn't make it up there to see you because I didn't want to see you like that in that environment. His dad was crying when he was telling Mike and they hugged. And in confessional, Mike said, he was crying too, that he can't believe that he put his family through this and he felt bad about it, but he's trying to do better going forward. And so when Justine is talking to Mike's mom, the conversation just took a turn, and it took a turn for the rest of the evening because Mike's mom was saying, I appreciate you being here, but Mike's kids are going to be with you. And I don't really like your parenting style because your daughter has all these tattoos and I don't want my granddaughter to come home with any tattoos at 15, 16. And Justine was saying, well, I don't see anything wrong with that. And Mike's mom was just going on with her point. Like, well, I don't know how you were raised. And Justine said, you know what? Maybe I was raised differently because it's okay with me. And so Justine says in a confessional that her daughter is on the honor roll. She's the captain of the cheerleading team. So a little navel piercing and a little tattoo is not going to hurt nothing. She's okay with that. And then so Mike and Justine's mom, during their argument, they're going back and forth. I think Justine was reacting more petty, but Mike's mom, I could see where she was coming from. She was saying how, she didn't want how maybe Justine was raising her daughter to be for her granddaughter because her granddaughter is not used to those kind of rules. So after they stopped talking, they went their separate ways, Mike's mom went to go tell Mike's sister, like, Justine has disrespected me. Like, she's telling me what her granddaughter would do in her care and she can't have no say about it. So Justine and the mom so Mike's sister and mom went back to talk to Justine. And again, Mike's sister's like, like, you're not gonna be up here disrespecting my mom like that. Like, you have to respect her. And Justine was saying, like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is my family now. And if I want to do something, I will. There's nothing wrong with my parenting. So they get loud with their conversation. And the mom and the sister was like, well, we'll see. We'll see. And Justine was like, you right, we'll see. And so the commotion gets so loud that Mike has to be put into the mix. So Justine, Mike's mom, Mike's sister comes over to talk to Mike, talking about, look, the sister says, no one's going to be disrespecting mom. You know, you need to get your wife in check. And so Mike was like, you know what? He tried to put out the fire. He said, we need to be one big happy family. And she's my family now. And, you know, not pretty much. He's riding with Justine. What she says goes. That's my wife. And Justine has like the smug look on her face. But the mom and sister was like, no, that's not how we do things. You know, going to bat for Mike. But Mike is like, nope, I'm riding with her. You know, what she says goes. So it was a big to-do and everything else. But you know who we see talking to some other people? Mike and somebody, I think the dad or whoever else. Mocha. I thought Mocha left. Mocha was like, yeah, you know what? You're right, man, because the Bible says you got to put your wife in front of everything else. And Mike was like, yeah, you're right. So after the meetup at the park, they all go home. They go their separate ways. At the house, Mike is asking Justine, is like, what was that about? Like, what is going on? You know, we're trying to be a big, happy family. And I haven't even been out of prison that long. And all this is going on. And Justine was like, well, I guess I'll just be more mindful. And you don't have to worry about it, you know, because I don't have to talk to them no more. And Mike was like, you know what? You don't have to be passive aggressive. You know, I'll just talk to you on another day when you're feeling better. And then he goes to another room. He's like, man, this is crazy for this stuff to happen. I haven't been out of prison 72 hours and I have all this drama. And I could see the power issue between Justine and Mike's family, because Mike's family says they've always been there for him, which is his family, which is true. And so Justine is brand new coming in. So there's that power struggle. And Mike is definitely going to be in the middle. Now, let's go to Eris and Cameron. Eris is still driving back to Kentucky, trying to get Cameron to the halfway house. They have 24 hours to get there. Eris said he's been waiting. Not he. Eris says she's been waiting, to be with Cameron and is ready for everything that comes. And so Cameron's like, he has been waiting for 30 months for this moment. He's had bad prison food. He's tired of the police officer telling him what to do. He's super excited. He's ready to get back into the rap game. He's ready to get his video going. Now, he said his video is going to have nothing but a bunch of women in there who are going to be on each other, licking on each other, kind of like a Pornhub video. And Eris is looking at him like, you need to slow your roll. He's like, no, babe, it's not going to be like that, but it's going to be like that. And so she's telling him, like, listen, you need to know what your boundaries are. And then next thing you see them in, it's dark now and they are stopping to get some gas. And they're both ready for some intimate time. And so she was like, oh, okay, baby, let me go get this gas. And they're like, they start kissing, stuff like that. And she's like, we got to like turn off these cameras and move these cameras. And in confessionals, Eris says that, you know what? It's time for me to get some muffins. And then he described what muffins were. And I'm like, we didn't need that analogy from you, Eris, but okay. We see them getting intimate in the car. But again, these are scenes that we don't need to see, but production thinks we need to anyway. Then it's the next morning. We see Eris and Cameron. I guess they finally made it to the hotel room after they did what they did in the car. Now it's time to get him to the halfway house. And they're saying, I love you. I'll be there for you and everything. Eris says that she's heartbroken, that he has to go to the halfway house. And she just really hopes that when he gets paroled, he'll come live with her and he won't have any influences when he gets out. So Eris, listen, he's in the rap game. You heard what he said, how that video was going to go, how he wanted to look like. And he was all like, doing his little rap thing. He's like, no, girl, I'm just kidding. He not kidding. So I don't know what you're going to do, but Yeah, we'll have to see how that video goes and if it drops. Because remember, he's supposed to be big in Cincinnati, and I'm ready to hear that single if he has one. All right, so let's move to Monique and Derek. Oh boy, it's the next morning with Monique and Derek. They're talking about how their night went. I guess it went real lovely. Monique says she gives it a 7 out of 8 because she says that Derek is young and yeah, he didn't give much foreplay, and I guess that's what she was looking for. And I'm thinking, what does young have to do with foreplay? I mean, he just got out of prison, so technically that would make him, ready to get it in. I mean, that's what I'm guessing. And then in confessionals, Derek said that he's been with BBWs before, but then he described he'd been with thicker women, but he's cool with Monique. He said they had a good time. They were both satisfied. Matter of fact, he said that he's happy to be out. Derek is just, so far, he is one of a kind. Let me just put it that way, in my opinion. So then we see, while they're laying in the bed still, Derek's phone rang and he don't answer it. And Monique is like, why aren't you answering it? He goes, I don't need to answer it. I'm here with you. So Monique takes the phone, scrolling down. There's 2 private numbers and a number with a phone with not someone's name, but a phone number. It's not private. So they call the number back and no one answers it. And so, that has already triggered Monique because she got him the phone. She put in her location. So she's already on edge of who he may call, who may call him. So I guess she's trying to catch him up and what he's going to say already. Then later in the evening, Monique and Derek go out on the town. Now, Derek is into pictures. He's like, take my picture. Take my picture. Take my picture with my Cartier watch. Apparently, Derek has a Cartier watch. He said it's worth $30,000 that his brother held for him. So when he got out, he got his watch back. And hey, it's a nice watch. It is very nice. All those diamonds in it. I see you, Derek, with that. That's why Monique, side note, maybe she didn't buy her nephew any birthday gifts because remember she got those name brand clothes for Derek. That's where it went to because Derek is into labels, as he said later on. And so now they're out to dinner. I guess Derek ordered everything on the left side of the menu because he's ordering, the waiter suggested some crab meatballs. Derek ordered the crab meatballs. He ordered lobster. He ordered crab. He ordered lobster, more crab. That's why I saw at the table, big ticket items. Now, there's nothing wrong with ordering big ticket items, whether it be your first night out, your first date, any special occasion, whatever. But okay. So as they're eating and they're finishing up, you see Derek go but not a big hey, what's up? How you doing? Monique notices that. She goes, do you know him? Or do you know them? He goes, yeah. And then next thing you know, when dessert comes, here comes the person that he gave the what's up to. His name is Mandela. I'm like, you just gonna come up? I mean, I'm sure there's cameras set up somewhere pointing in their direction. You gonna come up, talk about, hey, what's up? Derek is like, oh, and he introduces himself to Monique too. So he was cordial about that. But Derek's like, oh, so how you know I was here, man? How you know I was here? He goes, oh, man, I was just walking by and I thought that was you. So I thought I'd come and say hello. So Derek says, so what you doing out right now? He goes, Mandela goes, I'm fishing. And Derek's like, oh, yeah, I got you. So Mandela gives Derek his number. And so he's like, yeah, man, I'm thinking about going to casino later. And then once Mandela leaves or on his way out, he says, just let me know, when you're done with your lady or whatever. So then Monique says, who was that? He goes, oh, that's just somebody who knew me from around the way. He goes, it's not a big deal, though, whatever. And so Monique said, let me see your phone. So he goes, why? So he finally gives her the phone. And She takes the phone and deletes the number out of his phone. He goes, "What you do that for?" He goes, "You know our passcode, the passcode's everything. So, it's not like I could do anything." And so, again, while they're having dessert, he goes, "You know what, baby? Let's go to the casino." She's like, "No, I'm tipsy. I don't want to go." And I'm thinking, well, she may have been tipsy because they were drinking champagne, but I don't think that she wants him to go to the casino or be out anywhere with anyone if it's not with her. So he's like trying to talk her in the casino. He's like, let's just have a good time. I'm just fresh out. Come on, let's hang out. She's like, "No, I'm good." Then the check comes and he was like, that's $570. He's like, "You got it, babe?" She's like, "I guess." So Derek didn't have no money. Monique paid for it. So while he's still pressing her to go to the casino, Monique's like, "Why you want to go? You just got out. It's just me and you." He goes, "What's the big deal?" And Monique says, "So where are you getting the money from?" Derek said, "You're going to go to the ATM and get some money for us." I'm like, Lord, he don't have no cash, asking her to go to the ATM. So then when they leave the restaurant, he gets Monique in the car. Who's at the car? It's like 3 other people. So I guess Derek is talking. Derek is talking to these guys. So what I was going to say was, I guess Derek knows them too, because I'm thinking maybe Derek really did know people, and maybe he was a big deal in his city, because all kind of people are coming up to Derek, unless Mandela texted whoever he used to run with and was like, "Hey, Derek is at the spot," and something like that. So when Derek gets in the car, Monique is upset. She's like, "Oh, so you know them too? Where you know them from?" And so the way she's talking to Derek is like, kind of like talking to him like she's his mom and not his girlfriend. It's like, "Nope, I'm not going to the casino. I'm going home. You take me to the hotel, and that's it." So when they get to the hotel, she still has her clothes on, and she lays down. She's like, "Oh, I'm tired." Derek goes, "No, come on, let's go to the casino." And Monique says, "If you go to that casino, I'm not going to be here when you get back." And Derek is like, "Man, that's not cool." So then Derek walks down the hallway. It looks like he's leaving, right? But he goes to the hotel snack bar, and then he comes back to the room, continues to tell Monique, "Let's go to the casino. Don't be like that." And then Monique pops up. She's like, "Come on, let's go." So she decides she's going to go, and off to the casino they went. And that was the end of the episode. So next week, we're going to see Monique in the car. The car is speeding. I don't know who's driving. She's like, "Help, stop, slow down. I'm going to call the police." And then Nathan and Skylar don't seem like they're going to be getting along. And Nathan says, "I'm going to spaz out." And then he takes off in his truck. So this episode had a lot of detail to it. So Gabby and Chris, I'm not surprised about how that turned out. She's always leaving Chris somewhere. And Chris doesn't seem to think that Gabby is being serious. And then Monique is trying to put her foot down with Derek, but I don't think Derek's really having that. And Derek knows a lot of people. So her being concerned with him going back in his gambling lifestyle and street lifestyle might come to pass. But then again, give him some time. He's just getting out. And then Eris and Cameron, he's just ready to get in back in the rap game and do what he do. Eris is in love, and she just doesn't care as long as he's not with no video groupies. And Nathan, I don't know, he's feeling the vibe. Something is off with Skylar. So I don't know what's going to go on with that. So, all right, everyone. So again, that was the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, join the family, leave your comments, and that description link in the description box below if you're interested in becoming a member. And until next week, live simply, be grateful.